the sky has shifted, and so has the inner thread of your destiny. Jupiter has entered the sign of Cancer. And now, on the third day after this celestial transit, its energy is beginning to unfurl like a spiral, gathering momentum. This is no ordinary change in the heavens. It's the moment when a rare transit moves from potential to power, when it begins to fully activate its influence in our lives. We've stepped into the beginning of a new 12-year cycle, a cycle rooted in spiritual growth, emotional awakening, and deep inner healing. Some may feel this as the long-anticipated turning point they've sensed approaching for years. For others, it feels like a door opening in a space where only a wall once stood. But however you're experiencing it, know this: something sacred has already begun. This is not simply an astrological shift. It is the fulfillment of an ancient cosmic promise, quiet yet profound. Now, the seeds planted 10, even 12 years ago, begin to stir. It doesn't matter whether you planted them consciously or unknowingly. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, intuitive wisdom, and higher truth, returns to a sign in which it expresses deep emotional intelligence. It comes not with force, but with nourishment, watering the forgotten dreams, the postponed visions, the soul's long dormant longing. Cancer is more than just a sign of emotion. It is the keeper of emotional reality, ancestral memory, spiritual contracts, and the invisible bonds of the soul. And now, through its meeting with Jupiter, a rare energetic window opens, one that won't return for another 12 years. If, in the past few days, you've felt an unusual inner pull, if dreams from the past have resurfaced, or old emotions have come flooding back, if synchronicities have increased, signs have appeared, and sudden inner clarity is emerging, this is no accident. It's a call, and it's directed specifically to you. Because everything you do in the days ahead, everything you feel, commit to, or move toward, will begin to shape a new chapter of your life. Not a short one, but a full cycle. Soon, we'll dive deeper into the spiritual meaning behind this rare and powerful alignment. But for now, it's important to feel this moment for what it is. This is not just a planet-changing signs. It is the beginning of something much greater, and it has already begun. In these first days, it is especially important to pay attention, both to the knowledge that comes from outside and the wisdom rising from within. The universe is lifting an invisible veil, allowing your inner voice to be heard more clearly. Subtle signs, spiritual hints, intuitive insights, they now carry greater weight. Anything connected to the transmission of knowledge, intuitive revelation, or creative flow may receive unusual strength and support. If you've been waiting to speak, to share, to inspire, this is your time. Your words may travel further than ever before. Cancer is a water sign, but water is more than just an element. It is the language of emotion, deep memory, and intuition. It is the living thread of the soul upon which the invisible story is written. As Jupiter moves through this watery realm, your intuition may heighten to extraordinary levels. You begin to sense the path, not only with the mind, but with the heart. Those small impulses, dream fragments, fleeting inspirations, they are not random. They are the soul's quiet response to a new call being felt for the first time. This period also carries the energy of healing. Over the past 5 years, many have gathered inner tension, trauma, and emotional strain. Now comes the time to transform pain into power, to close old wounds, and to return to inner stillness. Jupiter in Cancer is ideal for restoration and nurturing, both physically and emotionally. Gentleness, compassion, self-care, slowing down, intuitive rest. These aren't luxuries now. They are essential. Create a space where peace feels natural. A meditation corner, quiet moments alone, soft lighting, a loving conversation with your body. These are not trivial details. They are anchors that allow this transit's energy to fully blossom. Themes of home begin to rise to the surface. You may feel a deep desire to relocate, to refresh your environment, to create or fortify a space that truly feels like home. But home is more than walls. It is the sanctuary of the soul, an energetic refuge that reflects your inner state. Now may be the time to live differently, with more stillness, clarity, and less external noise. Even small actions, rearranging furniture, watering plants, lighting a warm window, become spiritual rituals that ground you in comfort and presence. The archetype of the mother also grows in power during this period. Relationships with your mother, grandmother, and your maternal lineage may rise to the surface, bringing unexpected memories, emotions, and long unspoken truths. What has been buried deep within may now ask for healing. On a collective level, the theme of belonging becomes more powerful. More and more people are realizing they no longer want to walk alone. There is a pull toward those who speak the same soul language, who've endured similar trials, who seek the same kind of inner transformation. And during this year, spiritual communities and soul-aligned connections will begin to form. People entering your life in these days may be the first steps of your new 12-year path. Take time to ask yourself the questions that matter. What truly nourishes me? Where do I feel calm? Who brings strength into my life? And who pulls me away from my true self? In what direction is the voice of my heart flowing? These aren't just reflections, they are keys. They point to where your destiny is headed. During this Jupiter in Cancer cycle, your sensitivity will deepen. Emotions grow stronger, perception becomes sharper, and even the smallest events may feel profound and meaningful. But don't let this intensity scare you. Everything unfolding during this time is here to heal old wounds and build a new, stable emotional foundation. Heightened sensitivity isn't weakness. It's a sign of awakening. When emotional waves rise, intuition rises with them. Things that once passed unnoticed now speak loudly. This is a perfect time to revisit your past. Where were you 12 years ago? What desires were alive in your heart? What was started but never finished? Your soul now has a chance to reclaim the energy of that time. Sometimes, a single word, memory, or dream can reignite a flame long forgotten, yet still deeply important. This cycle is not only a beginning, it is also a completion. A subconscious contract that's been waiting silently for its moment has now been activated. And as of June 9th, it's no longer just an individual shift. It's a collective one. Jupiter's entrance into the first degree of Cancer sets in motion one of the most powerful mechanisms in astrology, the world axis. The cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, are where the personal intersects with the global. Events that begin in these degrees are often highly visible and carry the power to shift entire layers of society. Now, in mid-June, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune are simultaneously activated on this axis. This creates a rare alignment. The cosmic space is ready for restructuring. From June 9th to June 20th, Jupiter forms a tense aspect to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. This creates a kind of portal. Truth collides with illusion, Belief systems are tested, and hidden mechanisms begin to surface. This applies not only to personal values, but also to collective systems, information, media, finance, ideologies. We are in a time when society is undergoing a maturity test, and each of us, as individuals, are undergoing one too. But such a powerful shift also carries a shadow. While Jupiter is traditionally exalted in Cancer, meaning it can express its highest potential, if its energy is not well integrated, it can manifest as emotional overattachment, obsession, or painful idealization of the past. In relationships, this could appear as a fear of letting go, clinging to people, memories, or emotions that no longer reflect reality. If you're still holding on to someone or something that prevents you from moving forward, this phase can become your liberation point. The key is to shift your focus to Jupiter's higher qualities: spiritual growth, learning, wisdom sharing, compassion, intuition. Now is the time not to drown in your emotions, but to navigate them with awareness. Don't react impulsively. Learn the lesson within the feeling, because every emotion in this cycle carries a message, and Jupiter will help you hear it if you can slow down and listen. When the noise fades, when the rush stops, something greater begins to emerge, and you may finally feel that sacred, silent truth your soul has been waiting to remember. Cancer, the sign of intuition and deep protection, invites us inward. This is not a time for outward brilliance or external achievement. This is a time of silence in which we can finally hear the call of memory. The past begins to stir. Old words, dreams, forgotten fragments of the soul resurface, not randomly, but as reminders of what was left unfinished. This cycle is not only about new beginnings, but also completions. Some inner agreements, spiritual contracts made 12 years ago, are now entering their moment of fulfillment. Cancer's energy bends the perception of time. Past and future begin to echo simultaneously, as if the threads of destiny were converging into a single point. And in that point, something greater can emerge. A call from your ancestral land, the pulse of sacred memory, the voice of ancient knowledge. Jupiter's transit through Cancer can guide you to places of power, to your roots, to traditions that hold healing wisdom. This may explain a sudden desire to explore family history, revisit old photographs, letters, or heirlooms. These aren't just objects, they are portals. If you follow that call, Jupiter's energy becomes a guide, not only in astrological terms, but in a deeply spiritual sense, because this isn't just about you. This cycle plants seeds of a new consciousness in the collective field. It awakens the longing to return to origins, to simplicity, to rhythms long forgotten in the noise of modern life. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and therefore by all things cyclical, ancient, and feminine. You may feel a growing curiosity toward lunar practices, nature-based calendars, biodynamic farming, healing herbs, everything connected to intuitive, embodied living. This isn't a trend. It's a memory awakening, a remembering of how the world truly works. And this wisdom is not only held in the earth, it is also carried in the ocean. Jupiter's presence in the water element deepens our subtle connection with beings who hold frequency-based, wordless knowledge. Whales, dolphins, sea turtles. Their energy, their images, may begin to enter your dreams, meditations, or quiet thoughts, as if something or someone is calling from the deep. This is not fantasy. It is the gentle brush of evolution, an awakening of consciousness that speaks through intuitive connection with life itself. And those who listen will begin to feel the world with new sensitivity. This is a time to look not only to the sky, but deep into the earth. To listen not only to the voices of the stars, but to the ancient wisdom hidden in the waters and roots. This isn't just a cosmic calling, it's a primordial, earthly one. As the universe pulls you upward, the ancestral roots beneath hold you steady. These energies ask not for analysis, but for feeling. For each person, this journey will unfold in a deeply individual way. Now is the moment to look at where Jupiter is moving through your birth chart, because that is your personal zone of expansion, power, healing, and intuitive growth. This transit lasts only 1 year, but conscious engagement with it can lead to profound spiritual breakthroughs. June and July of 2025 will be especially significant. This is the gateway, the beginning of a descent into emotional essence, followed by the rising frequency of Uranian energy. It is essential to remember, the vibration you hold determines how this transformation unfolds. Grounding, living in alignment with your intuition, returning to ancient truths. These are the keys now. Prepare yourself. This is not just a transit. This is a threshold of awakening. And this time, the universe is calling you both inward and upward. What must be done? Every powerful astrological shift leaves its imprint, not only in the sky, but within your energetic structure. Jupiter in Cancer is a signal. It's time to release what weighs you down, to clear lingering attachments to the past, to strengthen your intentions and begin syncing with your higher purpose. But this is not a moment for acquiring more knowledge. It is a moment for embodied action. To step into a new line of destiny, you must align not the mind, but the heart. This transit whispers, be rather than do. Let go of the endless striving. Instead of chasing outcomes, return to a state of simply being. From that space comes resonance. From that stillness, frequency arises. The urge to control must be surrendered. Root yourself in your inner truth, because that's how the real laws of the universe respond. The time has come to raise your vibration, to reshape your reality, and to attract what is meant for you, not through force, but through your state of being. Your daily energetic frequency will define how this year unfolds. If your inner tone is clear, deep, and aligned, this cycle may become the most significant beginning of a new path in your life. If this transition stirs fear, anxiety, or the need to control, it's the voice of the old frequency speaking. But you cannot enter the new while still clinging to the vibrations of the past. You can't open the door to the future without shedding the emotional structures that no longer serve you. And if something in your life isn't happening right now, it's not from lack. It's because the energy field isn't yet aligned with what's to come. Stop chasing. Stop trying to fix everything. The most powerful way to receive what you're seeking is to create space for it to arrive. And space is born in stillness, in trust, and in the center of your heart. The universe works with emptiness. Only when you leave room can it fill it with something new. Start small. Tune your morning thoughts. Shift your simplest rituals. Clear your inner space of low-level tension. Even before opening your eyes, whisper to yourself, "Today, I hold my heart in love. Today, I choose my reality with intention." Because in this time, even a thought is an act of creation. Immerse yourself in what nourishes your soul. Music, water, meditation, nature. These are not distractions. They are portals to the subtle rhythms of truth. Cancer doesn't just bring emotion, it unlocks deep intuition. And if you're sensing signs you never noticed before, that's the call. Sometimes it's silence. Sometimes it's a dream. Sometimes it's the unshakable feeling that things are finally aligned. Ask yourself, what feelings still tether me to the past? What ties have run their course, but I haven't let go? What thoughts keep repeating old stories in my mind? The answers to these questions hold the keys to your next phase. But the most sacred thing you can do is open your heart to yourself, to others, to life itself. Because Jupiter in Cancer brings growth not through force, but through compassion. It awakens not just knowledge, but intuitive wisdom. This is an invitation, not just into a new reality, but into a new version of you. And now the choice is truly yours, to repeat the old cycle, or to step into a new state of being. This time, the call doesn't just come from the stars. It rises from the very depth of your soul. Trust your inner voice. It will be your guide. You no longer need to seek externally. The silence within you will speak louder than 1,000 words. Everything you're feeling, even the unexplainable, matters. These frequencies are already leading you to where your truth lives. And you are not alone. People vibrating at the same frequency will begin to appear. Synchronicities will speak louder, clearer. Coincidences will become too precise to ignore. These are the signs. The new energy is already working. New people, new paths, new horizons. They will all begin to magnetize to you the moment you stop resisting the flow. Every door that closes becomes a signal of a portal opening. Even what feels unclear now deserves your trust, because your soul already knows the way. What begins now is not just a new chapter, it's a different reality, and you're already stepping into it. Your task is not to make it happen. Your task is to allow.